Here she is, Miss America. The 2022 winner is about to join us to offer a warning about something she thinks we're all doing way too much of in life. Emma Broyles is next on Newsy Tonight. At times, it seems like social media can maybe do more harm than good. But what can be done to make the internet maybe a healthier place? That's a nice thought, right? Joining me now to shed some light on this is Emma Broyles. She's the newly crowned Miss America 2022. Emma, first of all, congratulations. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. This is such a treat.
I know one of your big issues, Emma, is social media addiction. Do you mean real addiction? How serious is this?
You know, I think that I've seen, especially within my peers, being 20 years old and currently in college, I see so many of my peers spending so much of their day on social media. I think one app in particular that's been eating away at everybody's time is TikTok. And I mean, I found myself falling into that habit of spending all my time on social media. And I think that it could be so detrimental for our mental health, especially for our younger generations who are still kind of finding themselves.
I see. So there are some people with addiction that they literally cannot pull themselves away. It disrupts their whole life. Then there's this other element that's maybe it's intrusive. I mean, I can tell you, I'm almost double your age, but, I love books. I'm reading Dune right now. I'd say 2 pages, I think I need to check my phone. It was never, ever like that before. I wonder why it's important to you.
Yeah, I remember growing up and kind of feeling like I would see these girls with these perfect lives, these perfect bodies, and I would think, why isn't my life like that? Why don't I look perfect? Why don't I have the perfect family and the perfect life, And it was so frustrating wondering why I wasn't living that life. And then it took a long time for me to finally realize that it was all completely false, right? Everybody put so much time into building up this perfect facade of this perfect person with this perfect life, but nobody gets to see what goes on behind closed doors. And so that's something that I've really tried to work on as Miss America, having a position where there's so many young people who look up to me as a role model. I do my best to speak openly about my mental health struggles and the things that are going on behind closed doors to really show people that I'm just a normal person and I go through the same struggles that everybody else does.
Mental health is worsening in young people right now. We know depression's up, anxiety's up. Some of that has to do with isolation in schools and all of this. We know, though, it's even more serious. 51% increase we saw in suicide attempts in teen girls. I mean, as a parent, I cannot imagine, what's going on. Any insight?
Exactly. I think that we really have to change the focus of young women and, frankly, women in general to, focus rather on what we look like. Because I feel like society puts so much pressure on us to look like the ideal women, but rather than putting so much pressure on what we look like, but instead how we're fueling our bodies. And that's something that's really been special that I've been able to work with Jonathan Baylor and Same Solution on, is kind of focusing on how can I maximize my performance rather than focusing on my appearance and focusing on the weight, right, and the pounds, because I've dealt with having ADD and OCD for as long as I can remember. And it's something that's really kind of been a big struggle for me because I didn't feel like I could openly talk about it because, as a woman, I feel like I'm told to have this perfect life and be this perfect woman. But there's so much going on behind closed doors that people don't know about.
In some ways it blows my mind that you're on here, Miss America, talking about having OCD, talking about some of these struggles, because 15 years ago, you're not even top 50 if you're talking about that stuff. You're going to ruin the image of the whole brand. What changed?
I really love the fact that Miss America is an incredibly progressive organization, right? We are not staying with these stereotypes that people have put on us for so many years. Rather, we're progressing with society and we're progressing with the ways that women can be powerful. Women can wear a dress and put on a full face of makeup, but they can still let their voices be heard and they can still have something meaningful to say. And that's really kind of why I wanted to speak openly about my mental health issues, is because I never saw a public figure speak about having dermatillomania or OCD or ADD. And it was so important. It would have been really special for me, as a little girl, to have seen that. And so being able to be that person for somebody else means the world to me.
Emma Broyles, Miss America 2022. Congratulations to you. Terrific message. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.